With the 11th pick in the 2023 NBA Draft, the Orlando Magic select Jett Howard.
By far, the biggest surprise of the night. Nobody thought that Jett Howard would be coming off of the board this high.
I've got to go C+ here. And Jett Howard, let's be honest about this. I think it's fair to say a defensive liability.
The Orlando Magic held the 6th and 11th overall pick in this year's draft and selected Anthony Black and Jett Howard. They will be joining an exciting young core, including last year's Rookie of the Year, Paolo Banchero. While many applauded the Anthony Black pick and see him as a natural fit in the Magic's lineup, most draft analysts were quick to point out that drafting Jett Howard was a surprising pick and a major reach at number 11. In this video, we find out from the draft experts why this is such a bad pick for the Magic, and we see the instant reaction from the Magic fans for this pick. Let's get started.
Perhaps our first "oh really" moment of the 2023 NBA Draft. Jett Howard, 11th overall to the Orlando Magic. So certainly some upside with Jett Howard, but Adam, you're a little surprised. I'm a little surprised. Matt's a little surprised. 11th to the Orlando Magic.
Yeah, this is early. We knew they were going to target a shooter. I've got to go C+ here. I think that if Jett Howard was the player they wanted, they could have traded back for him. Cam Whitmore's still on the board. I know there's questions, different things about Cam Whitmore, but a high upside player like that's still on the board. Jett Howard, in my mind, is not the shooter that Grady Dick is. He's not the shooter that Jordan Hawkins is. So if you make the determination that Jett Howard is your guy, and Jett Howard, let's be honest about this, is a big-time tough shot maker. I mean, he is a guy that can really make tough shots, but is, I think it's fair to say, a defensive liability. And so it's hard, you have to have your shooters on the floor to provide spacing around Wagner and Banchero, but if they can't defend their position at the wing in the NBA, that is problematic. So he's going to have to make some significant strides in the defensive end of the floor before he becomes playable in major minutes for the Magic.
Our first C+.
Yeah, there's a lot going on here.
A lot going on with this.
Yeah. All right, so it's Orlando's second pick. All right,
Yep.
So in some regard, maybe they feel so confident in Anthony Black that they figure, you know what, we got to. And this is presumption in real time here that this pick doesn't get moved. I'm just telling you, nobody, not even Orlando, had Jett Howard going before Cam Whitmore. Almost no one thought Jett Howard would go before his teammate Kobe Buffkin, who is a riser heading into the night. And I completely agree with Adam. You've got Grady Dick and Jordan Hawkins, who, to me, objectively are better shooters. Now, I want to be clear about this. On the Eye on College Basketball podcast, for a couple of years now, we have actually been fairly in on Jett Howard's long-term NBA potential. In the context of where this draft is right now, this feels like a stunner to me. In fact, I wrote this at CBSSports.com on Wednesday. Howard was on the short list of prospects whose true stock seemed to be all over the place. I'm talking a couple teams inferred to me he would not be a first rounder in their eyes, okay? Now, reminder.
Wow. So I trade down, get another asset.
Exactly. Now, reminder, it is Lion season, but I'm just telling you, nobody had Jett Howard going as high as this. Most didn't think that he would get into the lottery, but Orlando sees something, barring he doesn't trade the pick, Hakeem. I do like this. This is why draft night's fun, though, because there are always some plot twists and surprises, and no one had Howard off the board before Cam Whitmore.
Orlando Magic at 11th overall just selected Michigan's Jett Howard. By far, the biggest surprise of the night. Nobody thought that Jett Howard would be coming off of the board this high, Ben. Top 20, a little bit, as I'm going to let you get to here. He just came off of the board before Kobe Buffkin.
Not a lottery pick. That was not the perception of Jett Howard after his freshman year in Ann Arbor.
Before you get to the player, your big board here, this is a reach by the Orlando Magic.
This is a reach. I mean, this is like Stretch Armstrong. I mean, I had this guy rated in my big board at number 23 on my big board. And if you just look at my top 10 guards overall, he's the 9th best guard. Hood Schifino I had ahead of him, Buffkin, Keontae George, Jordan Hawkins, and Nick Smith I had rated all ahead of him. So this is something where you wonder, like, I don't know, did Juwan call him or something? I don't know. I mean, if they were saying they were drafting Juwan Howard, I'd be like, all right, I get it, but not this kid. And I look at him, and this is what I tell you. When I look at him, and I look at the big board, and I think about the comparison, Doug McDermott. Like, you're gonna go to 11 to get Dougie McBuckets?
Right.
Like, I mean, there's a lot better guys with a lot more upside. And then here's the other thing. If you think this is your backcourt, what does that tell you about Suggs? What does that tell you about Cole Anthony? What does that tell you about Markelle Fultz if they just drafted basically the backcourt right now?
So I would say it turns out the Magic have a type because Howard is 6'8", 215. For a guard, he's huge. Anthony Black is 6'7". Huge. They're going to start Wagner next to them alongside Paolo Banchero. Huge. None of them play center. I mean, they might as well at this rate here. The Magic clearly have a design for what they want this team to look like. And to be fair, a Grady Dick wouldn't fit that. A Jordan Hawkins wouldn't fit that. A Kobe Buffkin wouldn't fit that.
Here's Silver. Orlando Magic select. Who is it? Jett Howard?
So, look, Adam, you asked for shooting.
I did.
This is what you wanted. Keep that in mind.
Sam.
Okay, so I will say this. I had Jett Howard at like 25 on my board. I'm not an enormous fan of this pick. I will say that if I had the ability to kind of continue to tinker late, I probably would have had Jett at 19 or 20. No, I would have had him at 20 on my board. I am. This is not the pick I would have made. I would have picked Grady Dick if you wanted this skill set. But I understand getting a shooter who can run off of movement and play off of fun zoom actions. It's an interesting fit with Anthony Black because of Anthony Black's defensive ability. It's a good fit. Let me say that. This is a good fit.
Yes. 11 is rich. It's very rich. I had him 23, I think, on my final. Let me check what I had him. Somewhere in that like mid-20s range. 22, where I had Jett Howard.
Okay, so explain what your issue is with this pick, Adam.
Okay, so Jett Howard, he checks a lot of the boxes for the Orlando Magic in terms of having length and being a bigger shooting specialist, 6'8", but he is not a very physical player. And that shows up on the defensive end of the floor. I don't think he has a natural position to guard. I don't want to say heavy feet, but he gets very little burst or lift out of his feet and doesn't separate on offense, doesn't really keep guys in front defensively. Lack of speed and lack of physicality is a tough combination for a wing to have in the NBA. I'm not a biomechanical expert, but I did not see a lot of the ways that Jett Howard's going to be able to improve at some of those areas. Offensively, really good shooter, has some pull-up stuff to him when he really gets going. But other than the shot, you need to scheme ways to make him impactful. Decent playmaker when he knows exactly what the read of the defense is going to be. And he needs to come to his right hand with a little bit of a runway pre-catch to get separation from his man. He's not a standstill separator in any type of regard. That's fine for the role he's going to fill in the NBA, but routinely the statistical impact that he brought outside of shooting was very, very minimal in ways that we haven't seen for lottery picks in some time.
Yep.
I get it in Orlando in their construct. This is just a little rich for me. Oh boy.
NBA draft, the Orlando Magic select Jett Howard.
I think the reasons are pretty clear from the draft analysts. Yes, he will help the Magic's 3-point shooting. Besides that, Howard hasn't shown to be a 3-level scorer and has really struggled to create separation when he puts the ball on the floor. And despite being a 6'8" forward, Howard hasn't shown to be a good rebounder or a quality defender. Jett will need to improve in these aspects of the game to become a valuable NBA player. And being a Fab 5 and Juwan Howard fan, I really hope he does, and proves everybody in this video wrong. Alright guys, what do you think of this pick for the Magic? Are you a fan of it, or should I have gone in another direction? And if you think that Jett Howard will make it in the NBA. Let me know your thoughts, leave a comment down below, I'll be interested to see what you guys think. Alright guys, that'll wrap it up for today's video. If you like this video, please hit the like button, that really helps this video out. If you like this type of content, please subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Cheers!
Jett Howard?